Hello everyone, and welcome back to our channel. Today's video takes a deep dive into an important and timely message delivered by President Cyril Ramaphosa, one that strikes at the heart of South Africa's identity and values. As tensions surrounding immigration rise and social frustrations continue to bubble over, the president has spoken out forcefully and clearly. South Africans must reject xenophobia in all its forms and embrace migrants with dignity and humanity. His address is more than just words. It's a direct challenge to our collective conscience, and a call to action that could shape the future of our country. Now, let's take a closer look at what President Ramaphosa said, why it matters, and what it could mean for every South African. Ramaphosa's address comes at a moment when South Africa is struggling with widespread economic challenges, rising unemployment, service delivery breakdowns, and political instability. These conditions have created fertile ground for frustration. In many communities, foreign nationals have become the scapegoats, accused of stealing jobs, overloading public services, and even fueling crime. But the president was clear: this narrative is false, dangerous, and destructive. In his words, we must reject xenophobia in all its forms. Migration should never be feared or treated as a danger. Rather, it should be understood, managed fairly, and appreciated for the opportunities it brings. Let's pause there. Because this statement marks a critical shift, not just in tone, but in leadership. Over the past decade, South Africa has seen a troubling rise in anti-immigrant sentiment. From the deadly violence of 2008 and 2015 to more recent incidents in Gauteng and KwaZulu-Natal, the tension between South Africans and foreign nationals, especially those from other parts of Africa, has flared repeatedly. And often, the response from political leadership has been muted. But now, Ramaphosa is drawing a line in the sand. He's reminding us of who we are, and who we must choose to be. In his speech, he reminded the country that migration is as old as humanity itself. People move not to cause harm, but to find safety, opportunity, and a better life for themselves and their families. They bring with them hope, energy, and resilience. And when societies welcome them, the result is often a more vibrant, diverse, and economically active community. Ramaphosa emphasized that migrants are not the cause of South Africa's deep-rooted problems. They are not to blame for failing infrastructure, under-resourced schools, or overwhelmed hospitals. These are the result of systemic issues, years of corruption, poor governance, and a lack of meaningful economic reform. He put it plainly: migrants face real hardships, finding jobs, homes, and access to health care. They are not the enemy. They are human beings with dreams and dignity. And that's the heart of the matter. This isn't just a policy debate. It's a moral question. Are we going to treat others with the same respect and compassion that we want for ourselves? Or are we going to let fear and misinformation push us further into division and violence? Ramaphosa's speech wasn't just a rebuke of xenophobia, it was a call for unity. A reminder that South Africa's constitution is rooted in the values of human dignity, equality, and social justice. These are not just ideals written on paper. They are the foundation of our democracy. And they demand that we see the humanity in everyone, not just our fellow citizens. But let's be real. While the president's message is powerful, words alone won't change the situation on the ground. The reality is that xenophobic attitudes don't arise in a vacuum. They are fueled by real frustrations, poverty, lack of jobs, inequality, and crime. When people feel abandoned by the state, they often look for someone to blame. And foreign nationals, especially those who live and work informally, become an easy target. That's why Ramaphosa also spoke about the responsibility of government. He acknowledged that managing migration requires effective, fair, and balanced policies. He stressed that the state must ensure that laws are upheld, but also that they are humane. That communities are supported. that both South Africans and migrants are treated with respect and dignity. He said, "Government must lead with fairness and foresight, ensuring no one is left behind and no group is unjustly targeted. This means better border management, yes. But it also means investing in communities, creating jobs, and fixing the public systems that are failing all of us, regardless of where we were born. Because the truth is, blaming foreign nationals doesn't solve our problems. It only creates new ones. It leads to violence, looting, and fear. It divides communities and weakens the social fabric. It also damages South Africa's reputation on the international stage, especially as a country that claims to uphold human rights and Pan-African solidarity. Remember, this is a nation whose own citizens once found refuge in other African countries during apartheid. Millions fled to Zambia, Tanzania, Mozambique, and beyond. Those countries didn't shut their doors. They welcomed us. And now, in a time when others seek safety and opportunity here, we must ask ourselves, will we offer the same? Ramaphosa's speech ends on a note of responsibility, not just for politicians and officials, but for ordinary South Africans. He challenged each of us to speak out against xenophobia in our schools, workplaces, places of worship, and on our streets. He said, "This is a moment for leadership, from the top down and the ground up. We must not let fear divide us." And that's exactly what it will take. Leadership. Courage. Empathy. It will take people saying, "Enough is enough." We will not allow hatred to define who we are. This is especially urgent as political parties in South Africa increasingly use anti-immigrant rhetoric to gain support. Groups have emerged with openly xenophobic platforms. Politicians speak about cleaning up or taking back the country, while targeting undocumented migrants as if they are the root of every problem. This is not just dangerous, it's irresponsible. It creates an environment where violence becomes inevitable, where human lives are reduced to political slogans. So what's next? That depends on us. Will we, as citizens, hold our leaders accountable to their promises of inclusion and justice? Will we challenge harmful narratives when we hear them in our communities or on social media? Will we open our eyes to the reality that migrants are part of our society, and have been for decades? Ramaphosa's message is clear. If we want to build a South Africa that works for everyone, we must begin by choosing compassion over fear, dignity over division, and facts over scapegoating. Because the future of our democracy, of our shared humanity, depends on it. Let's take this moment seriously. Let's reflect. Let's act. Thank you for watching. If you found this video insightful, please like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments below. What do you think about Ramaphosa's speech? Do you believe South Africa is ready to move past xenophobia? Or is more action needed from our leaders and communities? We'd love to hear your perspective. Until then, stay informed, stay thoughtful, and as always, see you next time.